Is the preview of Indiana and Purdue coming up. Since we had our two Purdue guys on, I wanted to make sure that we took time to address the Purdue basketball team as well. Here's your sneak peek hint. Indiana, not very good. Purdue, very good. Probably will be an ugly game at Mackey Arena. Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that Purdue should take care of. They've been dominant at home. I don't see why it'd be different. The only reason it'd be different is that it's a rivalry game, and quite literally anything can happen in those games. Indiana bangs 4-3. It's in the first 8 minutes, and Purdue starts 0-5, and you just figure it out from there. But yeah, I mean, you look at Purdue took care of business at Indiana, and that was a game where pretty much everybody for Purdue was clicking. It felt like, even I know Braden Smith shot terribly, but like he just absolutely controlled that game. It literally was, he just missed open jumpers for the most part. I think he had like 9 assists and some like he just iced up though the Indiana defense, and Indiana just they especially, and most teams have to make the decision, but Indiana especially, they just have to make the decision of, are you going to let Edey go for 40 and not let anything happen on the perimeter? Are you going to try to take away Edey and live with what Purdue does with elsewhere? But like I said, Braden Smith tore him up. Aside from literally making shots, obviously. And I know that's a pretty big part of basketball. But Fletcher Loyer was really good. Lance Jones was really good. Purdue is shooting 44% from three at home. Like they're obviously, they're a top 5 shooting team regardless, but at home, everybody just knocks down shots. So you have to make the decision. I would guess that you try to just let Edey do his thing, and he's had really good success against Indiana in pretty much all of his games, at least on the individual standpoint. Like, I don't see why this would be different. For the Indiana side, Renew has to just be better, and Purdue did a great job last game of basically just making it so that way it was everybody but Renew had to try to beat Purdue, and Indiana just, especially at that point, I think they've had McBacco looks better. Trey Galloway has the potential to be like a guy that can go for 20, like against Ohio State. But Purdue did such a good job of making Renew just basically not really a big part of that game. Only had 8 points, and they did a good job of taking away that like big to big pass by like they put Edey on where they put whoever the 4 was on Renew, and if they were going to double Renew, it came from a guard, and they were basically saying shoot threes. If you hit them, well, we'll figure it out from there. And IE wasn't terrible, 8 for 24, but they would have to shoot, they'll have to shoot way, way better than that if they want a chance in this one.
Genuine question for you Purdue guys, just because I don't know off the top of my head. When is the last time that Purdue lost at Mackey?
I can find last year.
IE game last year.
Yeah. IU game last year. So yeah,
Dylan Chifino went off. Yeah. Dylan Chifino went off. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
Jackson Davis and Mason Gillis almost got in a fight when they had their stare down.
Yeah.
Mackey, I think.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, like you said. Last time that they lost was actually this game, but very different IU team, night and day from what we had last year. Completely expect Purdue to wipe the floor. I'd say it's a disappointment if you don't win by 20 plus.
In this game, I'm from Indiana. I grew up around this rivalry my whole life, so I hate this game so much, especially the fact that my wife's on the other side of it too. This game always makes me nervous just because of, again, it's a rivalry, you never know. And plus, I mean, Indiana went into Illinois not too long ago and played it really, really well. So that gives me a little bit of reservations, but then I also remember that, for the most part this year in games that, have really mattered to the guys who have come, everybody who came back from Purdue, like they played pretty pissed off. They lost at Rutgers, or losing to Rutgers last year. They went to Rutgers and played pissed off. They went into Indiana and played pissed off this year and did really well. So hopefully they remember that game from last year. And yeah, I think they should win by 20 plus. I could definitely see, Painter calling off the dogs a little early. He's has a tendency to do that. But yeah, hopefully they can take care of business. And I was hoping last night's game would kind of put the nail in Indiana's coffin, and they would come with their heads hung a little low, but they might be feeling themselves a little bit, but hopefully Purdue can squash that pretty quickly.
Fisherman saying, Purdue, congrats on your regular season title.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think after the win against Wisconsin, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, it's safe. You are in control of your own destiny. So that's nice. I think the part of this game that is interesting is like last year, IU had the players to be able to beat Purdue, and they were able to play in such a way that could beat Purdue. The issue this year is they don't, like, even though they have some of the same players, they don't have like the same tendencies and the same abilities to do what they need to do in order to beat Purdue, because kel'el is like their only big guy who can make a difference down there. No offense to Peyton Sparks, but he's just not good enough to do that. And Malik Renew, you can't get that guy in foul trouble. He's too important to the Indiana offense for him to get in any kind of foul trouble. And quite frankly, if you want to beat Purdue, you have to shoot the three ball really, really well and put pressure on them to guard the perimeter. Let's be honest. Indiana really stinks at shooting the three ball. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the exact stats, but there was like, a good part of the game. I think it was at the beginning of the second half when Indiana had their starters back out there and Mbako and Galloway were hitting some threes, and, they were able to make some things happen. But then again, of course, Malik Renew got in foul trouble, and then kel'el started getting in foul trouble. And it's like your entire front court, just basically falls away, and you just have no chance after that. You have to have depth in order to beat Purdue. You have to have guard play. I mean, you have to literally have everything in order to beat Purdue. And IU does not have everything. So
It'd be interesting to see what happens with Oh, go ahead, Brant.
I was gonna say if they want even the slightest fighting chance, one, they're gonna need Xavier Johnson healthy because Gabe Cupps just can't play to that level yet. And two, they're gonna need Xavier Johnson and Galloway just putting the most pressure anybody could put on anybody, on Braden Smith and on Fletcher Loyer. You just need to hammer them the entire game. And that's the only way that, because if they get the ball into Edey, it's over. If they're open for a three, it's over. You just need to, it's how anyone beats Purdue, is just by pressuring those two guys. And that they've gotten better at handling the pressure this year. But I don't think there's a chance, but we'll see if Xavier Johnson's out there. That I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a fighting chance for the Hoosiers.
It'd be interesting with Ware because good chance, because Ware went down. Obviously, that end of yesterday's game went down. It was really awkwardly. So you're wondering, it looks maybe like a hyperextension. I mean, he walked off on his own power, but it wasn't the cleanest of walks. So we'll see, how banged up he is. But they've had the injury bug all year. But he played, and he played Edey better than I thought he would the first time in Bloomington. Because I feel like this year when he watched Ware against any sort of legitimate big man, he didn't have the games that he had against Kennesaw State or something like that. So I gave him credit, but then he got in foul trouble, and that was kind of when the game really turned.
It seems like Ware and New is walking off every single game. They're always banged up, and if you lose one of them for any minutes at all, Purdue's going to go on their own.
Yeah, it's so far this year, like a lot of things have had to go both ways in order for Purdue to lose, and it's you look at both games that they lost at Northwestern, at Nebraska. Northwestern shot 50% from three. Nebraska shot 61% from three. They got good looks, so I'm not taking that away from them. But like you really right now, because Purdue, unlike last year, can beat you in so many ways. Edey can put up 35 and 14, or Braden Smith can have a near triple double, or Lance Jones can go for 20, or any of the role players can hit 3 or 4 threes now. You need to play a pretty perfect game, knock down threes, and force turnovers. And then it's at that point, you're still just kind of hoping, right? You can make Edey, at least Edey's going to get his. You're hoping he has to work really hard for it. And then you hope the guards have an off night, right? That Northwestern game, Braden Smith fell apart down the stretch. He ended up with 6 turnovers. The Nebraska game, Purdue just never was quite in it. It felt like, and Nebraska took advantage and knocked down an insane amount of threes. Indiana's going to have to do a similar thing where they, knock down probably 12 threes and they force Purdue into 14 plus turnovers or something like that is pretty much the formula right now. And even then, like Purdue had a very good chance against Northwestern to win that one. Nebraska won, they were in it, and then the final score bloomed out a little bit. And then both of those are on the road. Purdue hasn't done that at Mackey. I'm actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what their closest. Oh, they beat Illinois by 6 at home. And then Northwestern.
Yeah, which obviously that game, the score was a little bit higher because of the technical free throws, but
true.
And again, Northwestern, that game was hitting everything they were throwing up. I mean, even if their open shots, the ones that are missing, they were hitting everything when they had a hand in their face.
Yeah.
Question of the game, and this is going to be the most important part. Over under 30 free throws for Purdue.
Let's see.
They had 27, I think it was last game.
Okay.
Against Indiana.
I'm trying to. So Indiana, they're about average in defensive free throw rate. That first game, Purdue had 27.
Yep, 27.
I don't know. I would say under. Probably at 20.
28. 28 was my guess. Yeah.
I was going to guess like 24, 25. Because also I think this is just out of hand. And so like.
Mm-hmm.
I think 30 is a great line. I could see it either way.
It's fair.
But yeah, I mean, the worst job in the world to have is being a Big Ten ref and reffing a Purdue game. Just because, I mean, you have to blow your whistle every single time Edey touches the ball. It's either him fouling or the defense fouling. There's just the way he plays. He's so physical. He's so big. There's going to be elbows thrown. There's going to be hands thrown. People are going to reach. And you can't call them all because you can't just stand there and blow your whistle all game. So it's a tough job, and people get really upset about the calls they make. But at the end of the day, like, what are you supposed to do?
I said it the last episode on Sunday. I said we're no longer going to be talking about fouls when we cover Purdue games because it's just so toxic. And at the end of the day, like what the arguments people make are not usually that valid. And I had a guy comment on the video and say, what do you guys have against fouls? Like, what the heck? You guys got to talk about fouls. That's a part of the game. And I'm like, well, I don't want to talk about it. So it's not happening. I do need to go through though and figure out how many Big Ten games the winner who was the team who shot more free throws. You got to figure that out. Indiana shot 9 last time they played Purdue to Purdue's 27. So, we'll see.
I mean, that's part of what Purdue does.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get over 10. All right, good breakdown there. Any more thoughts on Purdue, Indiana before we end it here?
No, it should be a good game. Should be a very good environment as always at Mackey Arena. So, I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm. So
everybody's picking Purdue to win, I assume.
Yeah.
Nobody's stupid. Thanks for listening to the Big Ten Huddle. Please do like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If this was your first time listening, we are the Big Ten Huddle. We cover all things Big Ten football and basketball. We have a long episode every Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 o'clock. So come in, check us out, get in the chat, let us know what you're thinking. We would love to have you join us and learn more about the Big Ten.